Well, welcome everyone. Little dance like that. See, once you get warmed up, it's a lot better, right? Everybody, we just did, what's it called? Jump for your love. You better do something. You better do something for your love, okay? Let me tell you something right now. You're all so scared to love yourself. And if you even try to love yourself, you will get beat up by your family. Because you are only allowed to love your family. You're not allowed to love yourself. Lorraine, is that true?
It's true.
That's true. And once you start trying to love yourself, your family loves you with everything that they possibly can, which is broken strategies. Okay? Because guess what? Here's the deal. And that's not why we're here tonight. But I'd like to talk about it because it's the most important thing to me. If you had unconditional love for yourself, you wouldn't let your wife, your husband, your children, or the world disrespect you. Okay? The world has a pyramid. And at the very top of that pyramid, the very top, it's very small, just the tip. Those are the people that control the whole rest of the pyramid. And as you come down the pyramid, you're getting into bigger masses of different people all the way down, until right at the bottom is the majority that only know lies, no truth. And what lies in them? No truth, except lies. Your parents loved you all they could, but they only loved you as much as they loved themselves. You're only sick right now because you have sick thoughts. You know what? Do you know what I hear all the time? I used to be an athlete. Well, who wasn't? Everybody young was an athlete. What a bunch of crap. How's your diet? It's good compared to everybody else that's killing themselves. Whether you want to believe it or not, 30% of the population will be gone by 2030. They don't have to do anything anymore. They basically tried to poison the air, the water, the food. Look at the addictions that you have, all of you. Every one of you are addicts. Too bad you weren't addicts of self-love and self-care. But that's not going to happen. Why? Because you have to go home to everyone else that disrespects themselves. I will never do what the majority of the population does. Ever, ever, ever. So then guess what? Well, Daryl, then the majority of the population is never going to respect you. Okay, is that your threat? Really? Really? The majority of the population is disrespecting themselves on a subconscious level, and they don't even know it because guess what? You don't know you're lying in a bunch of poo when everybody else is doing it. If I could trigger something inside of you that you walk outside this door tonight and you had unconditional love for you, everything would change. You would have no more financial poverty. You would have no more health poverty. You would have no more mental poverty. You wouldn't care or need the approval of anyone. And how many people would you hurt? Absolutely no one. How many people would be hurt? Everybody in your family and all your friends. Because you suck off of them and they suck off of you. You're just all walking nipples. And that's the truth. I don't need anybody's approval, and I'm not going to take anything personal when people don't like me because I get it all the time. You can't talk like me and walk like me and squawk like me and then figure that everybody's going to go rah, rah, Daryl. That's not going to happen. There's no savior coming. The whole thing of this game was, you're going to come down here, they're going to rule school and fool you, and you were supposed to wake up and fall in love with yourself, because if you did that before you had children, then children wouldn't be on drugs and alcohol, and they wouldn't be out by the time they're teenagers looking for a new family. And what a bunch of bullshit. Well, why do you buy that? Oh, my kids, they want it. Yeah, really. When they go to bed, you eat it. And understand something. Any young child takes them 3 weeks to come off an addiction. They'll scream louder than you, but guess what? It only lasts 3 weeks. And guess what? It takes 3 months for an adult to come off an addiction. Because the longer and stronger you feed beliefs, well, the longer and stronger, the stronger they are. Whatever you feed gets bigger. And the reality is this. You can take anybody that is got an autoimmune disease, especially if they're really underweight or they're overweight. We know there was physical and sexual abuse. Right now, the elite are trying to normalize pedophilia. They're trying to normalize feeding off of your children. And understand something, I'm not putting up with it. I'm going to talk out. You all need to go watch Sound of Freedom. You need to watch that movie. I've been publishing it everywhere I can. But the thing you need to do is stand out. If you want to be outstanding, you need to stand out. Yeah, that would be Jason.
How's that for standing out?
Okay. All right. Okay, so now, if you want to have the life that you've always wanted, then you need to mind your business and do not take anything personal or care what anybody thinks. And you better get it. You know what? I will never sit above anyone or put myself above anyone. Look, I'm lower than you right now. But understand something. I have a doctorate. I have a couple of doctorates. And understand, you can call me Daryl. You come into my office, you'll never see a diploma on the wall. I earned it, but I don't have to flaunt it. The reality is I know that I'm one of the top specialists in health today. And to be a top specialist in health, you have to unconditionally love yourself. You can come up with all kinds of things like food combining and lots of interesting facts. Oh, he's so smart. But what's the end result? What's the end result of your clients? What's the end result of the patients? Do they actually turn their lives around? I'm not interested in the masses. Listen, am I trying to touch the whole world? Yes. But if they're not interested in me, I'm not interested in them. Because if I go after the majority would never buy into my stuff. I'd be a terrorist. But the realization is people don't even know some of the most simplest facts, like why you're overweight or why you're underweight and you can't gain weight. And everything is based on the emotional. And your families never talk about those things. Nobody talks about the real things that matter. You all hide stuff. I won't talk about this if you don't talk about that. And don't tell me that's every family. So anyways, tonight we're going to be doing, we've got 3 mats here. We've got a massage chair. We're going to work on people, and we're going to explain why we work on people, why I know that okay, so just know this. In the last year, I've taught 1,000 practitioners. And the ones that are still practicing or decided to go follow through, which everybody's not going to follow through. Why aren't everybody going to follow through? Because most of you aren't living your dreams, are you? You're not living your passion. You're not living your purpose. And why do you think the last 15 years, 20 years of your life sucks? Because you're getting older and you didn't finish the game properly. The game was called unconditional love for yourself and not caring what anybody else thought and love them anyway. Most of you are not going to finish the game. Guess what? I got news for you. I am the game. Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody tells me what to do. If it's not high vibrational, I'm not doing it. How does it feel to be so desperate and needy for love that you will eat anything, drink anything, say anything, listen to anything, and do anything? Desperation is a really bad emotion. What do you think? And then guess what? What do you really know about health? People just have to come and tell you they've got an autoimmune, life-threatening disease, and you'll shit your pants. You don't know what to do. Meanwhile, guess what? Just so you might want to know, depending on what province or what state you go into, 86 to 92% of the population have an autoimmune disease. When I was a child, young child, you know what? When somebody had diabetes, they had juvenile diabetes because they were not born with it, because you're not born with juvenile diabetes. Hardly anyone is. And if you are, the mother ate cheese and she drank milk and did yogurt. And that was one of the main causes, and people don't even want to hear that. You're so brainwashed. You know what? I'm not going to get into it tonight, but why do we drink cow's milk? Okay, right? We should be... Did anybody see the video I did, Milk the Monkey? Well, if you want to drink mammal milk, drink a monkey's milk. They're closer to us. So I'd like you to milk a monkey, and that's why it's called Milk the Monkey. And understand, that's how ridiculous we are. We went out there and looked out and said, oh my God, we need to find the biggest udders. Oh, look at that. Let's call it a cow. Let's milk that sucker. Okay? And there's milk in 80% of the people in this room, in their house. There's cream when there's alternatives that they don't have to do that. And you're blowing up. Why do you do it? Because it's so easy to program a human being into a human doing. So I'll make it really short because we want to get into show body work tonight. But just know this, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Royals, they're all the same family. They're all related. All the people that run the planet, they're all related. Like I said on the other lecture, guess what? There was only one president in the United States that wasn't related. They were all related. And did you know that? No, you didn't know that. You're not supposed to know that because you're at the bottom of the pyramid, baby. And you're at the bottom of the pyramid because you decided to stay at the bottom. You're a bottom feeder. And guess what? They taught you to be a bottom feeder because they said that all you have to do is send someone to school for 12 years and they will be a slave and a robot for the rest of their life. And whether you want to believe it or not, that family that I just talked about, they were given the keys to the world financially. And they will always have the keys to the world financially until 2 to 3% of the population unconditionally loves themselves. I only said 2 to 3%. We can't even find that. And it could happen. It could happen. But I'm not going to hold my breath that long. Okay? I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm just going to unconditionally love myself anyways and stay healthy. So I'll be 67 years old in just a few weeks here. When I'm 70 years old, when I'm 80 years old, and when I'm 85 and when I'm 90, okay, I'm going to have more energy than most of the people in this room, and whether you're younger or not. Most of you are already done. Okay? All right? When you go to bed, you worry about everything, and then it's like when you get up in the morning, another day. It's all just programming. The brain is just a computer. And I'm not going to get into it tonight. You can go into my library. You can find anything you want in there, but you just need to listen to this. Why don't you go back to 1960? And I want you to look as much videos of real people. I want you to go look at pictures and try to find canes, walkers, wheelchairs. Try to find it. They never even had pull-ups for adults then, called Depends. Now there's a whole row because everybody's crapping their pants because you're rotting out. And you're rotting out because of stinking thinking, and you're rotting out because you eat rotten food. All you had to do was love yourself. It'll be the hardest thing that you will ever do in your life. You need to go and look at the 12 BraveHeart loving steps. Look at this one, Love Band, Life Band. Do you have them here tonight? Okay, well you should be getting them. and you should be wearing it, and you should be snapping this. So when you're sitting over here by yourself right now, you can't afford a love band? I know, they're really expensive. I think they're like 20 cents. Okay, but guess what? No, you think I was kidding? No, let me tell you something. Most of you would never take a BraveHeart Circle training. You would never take a whole life coach training. But when you're dying, or when you're dying, or someone is dying in your family, you will wish that you did. You've been programmed to be worth a nickel 95. Can anybody do math now? What's a nickel 95? Help me out. $1. That's what you're worth. I didn't say that. I'm saying that you are worth everything. I'm saying that you need to be worth everything. You need to stop hanging around people that disrespect you. And if that means it's your family, you do it. You do it. Has anybody heard the word harvest lately? This is called the harvest. You know they're harvesting you just like they harvest a crop. And no, they're not harvesting you? You know, there's people in this room that believe if they get enough operations and cut enough of the evil and the sinner out of them, that they're going to be just fine. The body can heal itself. I'm going to prove to you that 95 to 98% of all surgeries is a farce. I'm going to prove to you also that the mind makes every hormone and drug. Okay, they're called chemicals and hormones, and the mind makes them all for every condition you have. So the same people that make the drugs are the same people that tell us what? To recycle. And those are the people that have put all our food in plastic so they can poison us. And it's made out of petroleum. Plastic's made out of petroleum. You're going to be saying goodbye to 20% of the people you know in the next 7 years. I want you to go home and take a look at them, and you're going to know who they are. There's people in this room that are going to be passing on way before their time because they're rotting out. And the biggest rotten part is that they believe that they don't deserve love, that they're not pretty, that they're not smart, that you know, they've went and bought into the guilt stuff. I don't have any guilt, okay? And I cheated, I stole, I lied, I did drugs, I sold drugs. Do you understand? I did everything you did and more, and I did. You don't get like this for not. And understand, I don't need your approval. Let me tell you something. For me to come down on this planet and have 2 toxic parents that don't know how to love themselves, love each other. My father was a born-again Christian pastor, carpenter. Sound like anybody you know? And my mother was Roman Catholic, okay? And she was raped by her father over and over again when she was young. I don't get into the story. So between the 2 of them, yeah, trust me, okay? So understand, I don't need anyone. I will bow down to no one. I will bow down to nothing on this planet. I will not put myself above anybody on this planet, but I will not negotiate anything except unconditional love and high vibrational everything for me. What the heck are you going to do? You married someone, and you have family that will disrespect themselves and not knowing that they're disrespecting you. How do you get out of there? How do you get out of there? Okay, first you had religion come along, and I'm not saying all religion, but most of it. Okay, they guilted us that guess what? We suffer today, we get heaven tomorrow. Well, I'm having heaven right now. And then guess what? You know what people are going to say? He's going to hell for that. Really? Think about that. Now, how much logic is there? And then guess what? The Darwin theory came along after that. And guess what? Darwin theory was the competition theory. That guess what? Who's going to be king of the jungle? We need to compete against each other. That was to put us against each other. And whether you believe it or not, you can believe this or not, but guess what? It wasn't God that did it. Do you know why there's so many different languages? So that we can't come together. Do you know why there's so many different colors of people? Because we don't want to come together. Do you know why there's so many differences? So we won't come together. Well, why don't we show them? Why don't we show them that it doesn't matter what a person speaks, what color they are, what religion they have, we're going to love them anyway. And then guess what? We would take this world back. So you can just take all of your religion and you can take all of your beliefs and you can shove them where the light doesn't shine. And I don't mean up you know where. I'm just saying put over there. They need to go into the darkness where they belong. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not changing. And Lori and I talked about this, my partner, and this is the way it is. If I become too much for the planet, we'll just leave. Not the planet, but we'll leave. I will just shut her down, baby, because I love my life already. If I'm not wanted, I'll go, and I won't be hurt. Because maybe the world's not ready for unconditional love. Maybe this go around, you need to poison yourself and your family. Maybe you need to take plenty of drugs to numb your emotions out because you don't want to learn about emotions, energy and motion. We are light energy magnetic beings, and everything you look at, everyone you hang around with, everything you do, how much light is that? How much vibration is there? I am not coming to visit your family. I am not sitting down at your table if it's a low vibrational situation. And that's not out of disrespect for you. It's out of respecting myself. I am going to protect my vibration. I am not overweight. I am not underweight. My parents both passed on before the age of 55 of cancer. Everybody in my family's dead except for my one brother. And my one brother's into health like I am, and that's it. I'm not going anywhere, baby. And I'll tell you one thing, I'm not scared like you either. I'm not scared of the government, the military. I'm not scared of anything. The medical system, they've already tried to come after me. They're still coming after me, especially Canada. No other country. My own country's coming after me, and I'm hardly ever here. Get him, get him. Well, good going. Try. They can't get anything because they still have to perform within the law. Do you understand? I am the only law for me. And that only law is this, unconditional love for everyone. Like me, don't like me, hate me, doesn't matter. Don't get yourself all up in a knot if somebody doesn't like you, because that just means that their vibration, their beliefs do not match yours. Big deal. Big deal. You came down here to get totally lost. You don't even know who you are. Do you know where you came from? Do you know why you're here? Do you know where you're going? Do you know what you want? And most of you won't even be able to tell me. You won't even be able to tell me. And imagination, well, forget that. That sandbox is a kitty litter. You could clean it up if you want it, but you're going to have to clean up the way you feel about yourself. And that's the deal. My God, just fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Go and do the exercises. Do the advanced water fast. Do the vaginal infusions. Do the clapping. Do the belly button. Do the pelvic squats. Do the crab stretch. You know what? I've never spent any time with myself because I've been so busy trying to suck off my family because I need love. And you know what? What if you fell in love with yourself? What if you filled up your own heart? Then you wouldn't be getting pissed off at your family, your children, your husband, your wife, or anybody else because they weren't there today. And they didn't tell you how much they needed you. I don't need you, but I love you. And I know that if I love you, okay, my vibration goes up and I stay healthy. And how selfish is that? What a selfish little prick Daryl is. Let me tell you something right now. If you don't learn how to be selfish, from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, what's going to go down in the next 7 years, you better get it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I am changing. Right now, I am working all day. When you see me do my videos, I am constantly, like not 24/7, but 12 hours. We are changing our whole business over because these families I just talked about, they have the keys because you can pay 99.9% of the population to do anything. I was just doing my job. That's the law. Really? That's all we're going to hear. We're going to hear it again this winter. I'm doing my job. I will never, ever, ever, ever hurt a human being again. But I will hurt human beings because guess what? When my beliefs don't match yours. Last night I had a guy come on here and goes, he sounds just like a cult, right? Okay? And this guy's name was Mark. Mark, are you on it tonight? And I said, Mark is a turd and he's floating down the river and he's causing a bit of a stink, but goodbye. Understand something. You are, just because you're part of the majority doesn't mean I'm going to let you get away with it. The minority is who I am. And I am stronger than 1,000 people. And these people that sit at the top of the pyramid, you know, there's only one thing that they cannot come up against. And do you know what it is? Unconditional love. They don't know what to do with it. Because long as you don't have unconditional love and you've got conditional love for yourself, they can create fear in you. Do you think I have one speck of fear? You can ask any, Lorraine, have I ever shown fear? I don't hide it because I don't have it. Because I know that which created the whole universe has always loved me. You guys made up some bullshit story, okay, about how there was a guy up there, and it was a guy, not a girl. It was a guy, but it probably is a girl, because guess what? Women create things and men destroy them, so I'm not really sure how that happened. But the reality is there's a guy up there, and he's old, but he's really knowledgeable, and one minute he loves me, next minute he hates me. You know what? I think he needs a straitjacket and some Prozac. What do you think? Let's lock the sucker up. You need to understand something. You're going, this isn't a health lecture. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. You're not a sinner. You're a winner. You're not a failure. And when you fall forward. You dust yourself up. You get yourself up and you go, I got this. And you do not tell anybody in your family or anybody, okay, about those special dreams and passion and purpose that you want to do unless they've done it already. Because if they haven't done it, they're going to go, well, you can't do that. I wouldn't do that. You're going to have, oh no, I wouldn't do that. So I ask nobody. I don't even ask anybody, should I do this? I just do it. And Lori, my partner, I just say something and she goes, whoa, really? And I go, yeah. I said, buckle up, baby, we're going. Oh my God, why did Dr. Wolf leave it stop? Why do you run away from there? See, people think that you run away from somewhere because you're making a bunch of money. What if I was running to my dream? What if my dream was to have a university? What if my dream was to have a government behind me? What if my dream was that before I leave this planet, I will touch everybody on this planet, touch their heart, and see if we can touch the God spot and turn them on? What if that was my only purpose? Well, really, it's not. That's just a story I use to try to get your money. So the reality is, listen, you don't know who I am. You don't even know who yourself is. People are always telling me who I am. You don't know who I am. You don't understand what I want. And all I want is I want to have fun all day. I want to be in the present moment and own it, because guess what? How many people know that you cannot experience the past, but you can bring the past forward and cause hell on earth? How many people know that you cannot experience the future? You can in your mind, and the reality is that if you are fearing the future, you've already set the story in stone. Hey, listen, you're overweight because all you do is think about being overweight. You're underweight because you think about it. You're sick because you have sick thoughts about yourself. That's it. There's the science. The science is in. That the imagination is everything, and the reality is it's so easy for them to program you. I am Daryl Wolf, and I am the thunder. Not the thunder for you, but I am the thunder. There is nobody that's ever going to shift me, and you're going to go, he'll get his. Really? I'll get mine? Seriously? What is wrong with you? Why don't you go out and get yours? Mind your own business. Go and get yours. Go and get it. Stop thinking about everybody else and what's going on in the world. Do not participate in anything the world's doing. Nothing. The world's going to hell in a basket, and we're not going to stop it, but we're going to come through the other end, and we'll have a new planet. Now, I know if you guys do a lot of things like, you know what, I don't watch CNN anymore. I just watch alternative news, and I watch it all the time. Well, guess what? You are going, okay, no sound on Instagram. Well, I'm not sure why. That's maybe just one person. Okay, could somebody else on Instagram tell me if there's sound or not? And if there isn't, then Instagram has probably cut me off. So that's that. So I lost TikTok last night, Instagram tonight, and that's it. So where was I? So I'm going to tell you guys something right now. All you had to do is walk around with a slight smile all over the place and leave smiles wherever you go. But you won't do it. You know why? You know what? We'll have people that will start in my course, okay, and they will start the first day, and I'll go, I need everyone to smile all day long. And is this the truth, Lorraine, Alicia? Absolutely. That they will give me the finger. They will look at me, and they will spit bullets at me, and it's like, who in the hell do you think you are? You don't tell me to smile. I got nothing to smile for. Okay. Do you see what you just did? So go ahead. Why don't you just have a tantrum and do it for the rest of your life? Oh, wait a minute. You already do. Because you wouldn't have any illnesses. So how can I go and have all this energy, you think about it. How can my parents passed on before 55. There's hardly anybody left in my family. Okay, where do I get this energy from? Because I'm in love with Daryl. And I'm in love with the source of everything that has never judged me. What a bunch of crap. And if I've offended anyone with your religious beliefs, I apologize. I do apologize. But the reality is this. The more you let yourself off the hook, the faster you're going to heal. Do you ever get that? Okay, so if you're guilty about something, does that bring your vibration up or down? Okay, so now I've done my rant. Let's slow it down. Calm down, Daryl. They're really not that bad. Okay, all right. Now listen. So here's the deal. So whether you want to believe this or not, hardly anybody limped. I can remember when I was 6 years old, my 92-year-old great-grandfather had a cane. I don't remember any other canes. I do not. And why don't you go take a look at a picture of a beach in 1970. And now go, all we've got is beach whales. And you might think that I'm picking on the people here that are overweight. They're not overweight. The people here that are overweight aren't overweight. They're overinfected. And those people, believe it or not, have been emotionally, sexually, or physically abused. And nobody has ever gotten into their heart and helped them to unleash this, to let them know that they are beautiful and that they can let this go. And I'm going to tell you, you know how they say that we need to learn the art of forgiveness? Well, what about this? What about we would never have to forgive anyone unless we judged someone? So let's stop judging. Let's start observing. And if you see someone that's toxic, you don't have to hate them. You don't have to judge them. Why don't you focus on what you want in your world? Why do you always have to say, like Lorraine said tonight?
I hate my shoes.
She said, I hate my shoes. Why didn't she say, I love my bare feet? Because we are taught in a way that we think we're saying something positive, but we're being totally negative. Are you with me? Don't focus on what you don't like. Focus on what you do like. Did anybody clean out their cupboards and fridge yet? Cut the crap. It's still in there. It's still in there. Everybody's so addicted here. It's unbelievable. You can't bring it in the house. If you crave it, you leave the house, you get off your property, and you go and you pig out, and then you come home to a health love zone. You do not bring it home, because when you bring it home, you're a little pig. You don't eat one ice cream, you eat a quart. You don't eat one little bag, you eat a big bag. Okay? And stop pitying yourself. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Start loving yourself. 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, there's a new sheriff in town. Every time you go to the bathroom, look in the mirror and say, I will love, honor, and respect you. I will make sure that I reprogram my subconscious, that everything in there is unconditional love. Okay? That's what you need to do. That I will love, honor, respect, protect, and forgive myself totally for everything and anything I've ever done. So help me God. And I will move out of being a turkey and gobbling, okay, and getting it up the butt like turkeys do. And I will spread my wings like an eagle. And when there's chaos, I will rise above it. There's chaos in my family again. There's always been chaos in your family. Why don't you just do calendar tracking? You'll find out that there's a trauma in your family, and you could track it to the minute because everybody runs a program. So Martha has to have 3 temper tantrums a day. Okay, Jim, he hardly drinks, but when he does, it's for a week. Okay, are you with me yet? Everybody's running a program. Oh my God, Jim's ready to blow. Okay, Jim, I'm going to go visit my mother. Okay, do you understand? Because Jim's not going to change. We're always waiting for someone to change, and all we need to do is change ourselves. And then once we change ourselves and we've really worked on unconditional love for ourselves, if Jim is still doing what he wants to do and you've given him 9 months to a year, well then guess what? Get out of here. Move on, baby. Because guess what? Have you been taught that it's all in the suffering? Women, wake up. That's what you do. Okay, if anybody's sick, you suffer for that person in the family. If anything goes wrong, you know what? I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good woman if I don't show that I'm suffering for everything. Melissa? She still does it. Understand something, and that's got to stop. Because you will be giving up your parts. And those will be your ovaries and your uterus and your breasts. Why? Because when you suffer for people, because guess what? Life comes through the vaginal canal. You feed the world with your breasts. So if you want to suffer for the world, you're going to give up your breasts, you're going to give up your ovaries and your uterus. Okay? All right? So just know it. If you are not going to unleash your feminine power, then you're going to give up those things that give you femininity. Did you get that? Just understand, nobody give you know the top of the pyramid? Their biggest orgasm is you suffering. You going to surgery. You taking drugs. You limping. You with the cane, the walker, the wheelchair, in hospice. But first the hospital, then hospice. It's nice how they rhyme. Now listen to this, and you can get this or not. How many people have watched Monsters, Inc. with your grandchildren or your children? Go home and watch it. Monsters, Inc. was not a cartoon. Whether you believe it or not, all of these people at the top, believe it or not, I'm not going to get into it because this is a whole different class. And unless you've taken my master classes, I don't touch this with a 10-foot pole because you're all going to go, we walked into the twilight zone. And the reality is these families are 100,000 years old. And they've been running the planet that long. Oh, you think they just popped up, right? And the reality is they were actually asked to be our enslavers. Wake up. Isn't it kind of funny how we can't even get the chlorine and fluoride out of the water? Isn't it kind of funny that, guess what? I love this part. Everything in the grocery store is wrapped in plastic, but when I go to check out, they won't give me a plastic bag. Are you guys, they're saying humans are morons, and we are. You need to go home and you need to turn on your blender. And you need to start to make the salads. You need to get a structure unit to protect your water. You need to stop eating animal products unless you know the farmer. Or you kiss your butt goodbye. You know what, guys? 7 years isn't long, and you'll be able to tell me that I'm full of it. By 2030, 2032, 20 to 30% of the population is gone. Please, we don't need to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and don't say that. I'm trying to tell you that we can change all this. Whether you like it, the world needed to change. Now, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. COVID empowered me. I never fell for it, and I just went, yeah, baby, I got this. I needed this challenge because I needed to grow. And that was like 1 out of 10,000 people have come out of this. Okay? This next thing we're going through is going to be 4 prongs. Did you know that? It's coming for you. 15-minute city, climate change, the virus, okay? And you know what? It's really difficult, but guess what? All you had to do is look up the definition of virus in the dictionary, and it was Greek word, and it meant poison. And no poisons can even jump. They're dead. And guess what? 99% of the people in here walked into stores with masks. Please stop. Don't lie. And you went like this. Free bacterial soap. And you went, look at me, everyone. I'm a good boy. I'm a good girl. And then the bacterial soap went into your bloodstream, and it actually was destroying the bacteria in your gut. And large intestine is your actual 85% of your immune system. Did you know that? You're supposed to have 85% good bacteria, 15% bad bacteria, and it's the other way around for 99 out of 100 people, and I didn't make that up. That's actually a study. And that's why 86 to 92% of the population have an autoimmune disease. 88% of the population now has diabetes. Okay? 40% of all children have a chronic illness now. 40%. Okay? 1 out of 4 children are obese. Here, Jimmy, shove it in. So, just know this. And I'm going to say this. When you go to Jason, Melissa, when you go to Susan, when you go to Lorraine, when you go to Alicia, and I think that's it, and Simran, who's hiding, okay? All right? Just understand something. They give you a money-back guarantee when you come for the first treatment that they're going to knock your socks off or not. I'm going to prove to you tonight that people who have knee problems, neck problems, shoulder problems, wrist problems, fibroid, we can take a fibroid, okay, as big as an Indian rubber ball. And does anybody got a fibroid here? A breast fibroid? Because guess what? We'll sell Sonic it tonight. And if it's as big as this, I will get it down by 30%. Is that enough for you in one treatment? Is that enough for you? And you go to a doctor, and it could be as big as a pea, and they're going to want to cut it out, aren't they? Then the scar tissue and the inflammation they create is going to cause mutation. Then they're going to want to do radiation, or they're going to want to do an X-ray, which is radiation. I'm not trying to down these guys, but guess what? They're terrorists. Don't tell me how smart your doctor is just because he's got a lot of figures and facts. I haven't met anybody. No, I shouldn't say that. I've met very few people that are smarter than me because I'm going to tell you what it is. Do you know what smart is? Logical. Logical is what we call smart. Not how many years you went to school, you fool. The longer you go to school, let me tell you something. How many people went to school and they've got 3 PhDs and they took 3 of these? And they're still walking around with 1 of these, and they're in their car by themselves. Oh, there goes Mr. PhD. Wow. You think I'm kidding? I've got friends that do that. They are my friends. I don't say anything to them. They're going to do what they want to do. I'm not changing. I'm not going to change. I already told you, if I get to be too much, Lori and I will bugger off. And we'll just go and we'll hide out in the rainforest and we'll go swimming every day. We'll have the best coffee in the world and we'll get the sunshine in our face. You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't have to do this and my day is going to be full because my heart is full. You are going to have a busy day, but you'll never have a full day. You'll have an empty day because your heart is empty. We're going to stop, and then we're going to shut this down. We'll take a little pee break. We're going to come back and do this. But while you're going to the washroom, remember, you're going to do the mirror work, okay? Right? We'll see how many people do it. You know what? Most of you women, you put your makeup on, you do your hair, and you've never looked in your eyes and told yourself that you love yourself. You don't even know what love is. You know what love is as everybody's sucking off of you and you sucking off your family. And I say things bluntly to what? Get it in here? I already told you we want to crack your coconut. Oh my God, he's really rough, isn't he? Well, why don't you go home and then get stroked, okay? Listen to me. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. That heart of yours? Do you have children? How many? Okay, what are the ages? You have 3 children. What are the ages? Okay. How much of your heart do they fill? Be honest. Just go. Don't be honest. Go. You already know. How much?
50.
Okay. Do you have a husband?
No.
Okay. Do you have mother and father?
Mother.
How much does she fill your heart of that last 50% that's left? 20. Okay, so now that's 70. How much does your friends fill up your heart?
I don't have any friends.
Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets?
Yeah.
Okay, how much does your pets fill up your heart?
Oh, goodness.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Look at nobody can see you and nobody even likes you. Okay? Okay. 10. So that's 80.
Yeah.
Okay. And guess what? She leaves the other 20% empty. Do you know why?
No, that goes for the grandchildren. Oh, yeah, sorry.
How much do the grandchildren get? The other 20 or 15?
No, higher.
Okay, so that means her cup runneth over, and guess what? She gave none to herself. And understand, you are like everybody else in this room. Whether you want to believe this or not, there is only 1 out of 1,000 people that even hold love in their heart for themselves, and only 1 out of 10,000 people that actually fill up their own heart so they're not sucking off their family. You know what? Did you guys feel like I love you tonight? But I didn't give you anything. You felt the vibration of love that I have for myself. The way that most people live is, guess what you do? You've got bullshit love. You give it because you need it. You don't believe me? Oh, I love you too, I love you. Oh my God, you fill up my world. I couldn't live without you. I'd die. So I'd die too. Don't you tell me that you've never done that. You've done that in every relationship. Oh yeah, I know. What's happening? We've been together for 1 year and things have changed. You've changed. You're not the same. Well, shit, I couldn't pretend to love you that much for the rest of my life. You can laugh. What do we do now? Well, I'll get a hobby. You get one too. And then guess what? What? When we come home at night, because guess what? When you were loving me, everything, you're snoring, you're clicking, it never bothered me. But now I'm going to need a drink when we get home. Really? Yeah. And then in about 5 to 10 years, I'll be on medication. But we'll be really good friends, yeah, because guess what? We've got poverty consciousness, and we know that we can never leave each other. And who in the hell would love you anyway? You're so ugly. Oh, but you know what? It's not even about that. My religion won't let me leave. Really? They still do that? Oh, no, it's not that. It's just that I don't know what it takes to get into heaven. Really? So you're going to stay with me? Yeah, and I don't even like you. Welcome to 99 out of 100 relationships. 99 out of 100. What a bunch of BS. If I didn't love myself unconditionally, I couldn't do it for Lori. You know what? You came together, you got out of school, you didn't know how to love yourself, you didn't know how to love another, you didn't know how to make any food. My God, what did you learn in school, in cooking class? Cookies and Jell-O. Wow. How many cookies and how much Jell-O can a guy eat? So the reality is you can't cook. You don't know how to love yourself, so you don't know how to love another. You're so damn desperate. But guess what? We know how to get our pants off and welcome a spirit being into this body and not know how to eat. So now the spirit being gets to live in the middle of a sewer dump. Why do you think women are losing their babies? Because their pelvic is rotting out. Why do you think that Lorraine, Alicia, Cimarron, and Serena, who's not here, are traveling the world doing a 3-day masterclass to teach women how to restore their vaginal canal and their whole core? But guess what? I know you girls don't have any money and you just can't afford the time, right? But you'd rather have a smelly, dry vagina, okay? One that has cysts, one that has endometriosis, bladder infections, okay? One that's in pain, okay? And understand something. What is the second most done operation is hysterectomies. And the first one is cesareans. And no woman ever needed a cesarean. Maybe 1 out of 100 or maybe 200. The reason why everybody needs cesareans is because you're full of waste. Remember, the baby's here. Large intestine comes around here. You got autoimmune disease, which means leaky large intestine. You're pooping in your pelvis. And guess what? Infection creates inflammation, causes contraction, scar tissue formation, calcification, and that is what every disease in the human body is scar tissue, calcification, and crystallization, and we're going to prove that when you come back after you go and look in the mirror, okay, find a bathroom somewhere, and see if you can look in your eyes and say, I love, I honor, I will respect you, and I will make you first and foremost before anyone else, so help me God. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back in 10.